group of churches or, a coalition of young people can have an impact. You can actually show up at these meetings and ask questions and promote this kind of work. And one of the things that we're doing with, My Brother's Keeper, which, you and Aisha supported, our goal, and we started after the Trayvon Martin death as a response to make sure that we're getting to some of the root causes of racism and structural injustice. One of the things that a lot of these MBK communities have focused on is, putting together handbooks and manuals and training programs and policy recommendations for cities. And in some cases, we've asked, one of the things that we did after the George Floyd murder was to insist on cities taking a pledge that they were going to move this process forward. And hundreds of cities have actually signed up. And so that's one way, if people are looking for ways to plug in, they can go to, Obama.org, sign up to see if there's a My Brother's Keeper community in their area. If not, you can start one, but that's a place where you can immediately start getting information about concrete actions we can take to reform and improve the system.
I love the actionable items, specific concrete ways that we could participate, and how important information is. Like, that was the main effort over the pre-election season, and obviously it worked in terms of voter turnout and just a new energy around how young people can influence the outcomes of these elections. And like you said, Georgia's extremely important. So to get plugged in there, keep that conversation going. I put Obama.org at the bottom so you can get that information there and sign up. I got one last question for you before we get out of here. I know you got a busy schedule and I got to get back to training, but I got your book here, and obviously it's a big boy. It's this, your first term. It's an unbelievable picture. I don't know where you posed for this at. You look good. But
they didn't do any touch up on the gray though.
Yeah, well, no,
sorry,
the fade is nice. I saw Spice Adams in here talking about the fade is nice. So I'm trying to, that's goals right there. So
there you go.
Just what would be one takeaway that you want people to know from the book, and why you wanted to put the time in to bring this to the people after your presidency?
The main takeaway, especially for young people who read it, and whether you're reading it or there's an audio book, some folks.
The audio book's you, right?
Yeah. So
yeah.
Folks who want to soak it in that way. My main takeaway connects to what you said just before, which is I want people to read this and say, okay, you know what? Actually, I have a better sense now of how our government works. I have a better sense of how the world operates, how power operates, how decisions get made that influence the world around me. And my voice, my ability to impact that is more significant than I thought. Part of the reason that I wrote this, tracking my journey as a young man through the presidency, was so that people would look at it and say, oh, well, he's smart, but, he's not a rocket scientist. He's not Einstein. He's a good speaker, but, he wasn't always a good speaker. He obviously had some talent, but man, he made a lot of mistakes, and, he had some stuff that wasn't working out for him, and he was disappointed and stumbled and sometimes got embarrassed, in public. I write about how, first couple of debates I was in, man, I would stumble through my answer, and the buzzer would go off. Like, I was halfway through my answer, I was terrible. And so the reason I want folks to see that is so that, if you're coming up and you want to do something, whether it's around criminal justice reform, or it's around climate change, or it's around, inequality or kids getting a better education, whatever it is. I want